First tonight, the opposition leader says his party met with U.S. Embassy officials on the latest Haitian visa policies, yet he's still awaiting answers from the Prime Minister. Plus, Hasty Farms, a shanty town in Andros, next up for demolition. Officials on the ground are posting 28-day eviction notices on several structures in that unregulated community. And then, a local church and preschool on Grand Bahama broken into over the weekend. Officials say from snacks to electronics and cash, thieves made off with thousands of dollars worth of items. And then in our news at 7:30. The Davis administration reducing value-added tax on essential items, but the Free National Movement says that's not enough. We hear from both. We have the details for these stories and more as our news live at 7 starts now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. The Free National Movement is calling on the Prime Minister to lay out a clear plan to prevent Haitian nationals from being granted entry to the Bahamas to apply for U.S. visas. The Department of State announced applications from Haitian immigrants for visas will be processed at the U.S. Embassy in Nassau. In a statement released yesterday, the U.S. Embassy said, in line with a presidential proclamation on restricting the entry of foreign nationals to protect the United States from foreign terrorists, the department has fully suspended visa issuance to Haitians with limited exemptions. Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard says the Prime Minister is duty-bound to answer questions surrounding the issue.
Unfortunately, they have not been prepared to answer earlier questions we have raised about the frequency of flights from Haiti, whether it's on the national flag carrier or on private airlines. And so again, they obviously do not appreciate the level of anxiety and concern that Bahamians have. And so we're asking them to answer the earlier and the more recent questions.
Pintard says his caucus met with U.S. Embassy officials, and he says they are aware of concerns surrounding the issue.
We're satisfied that they certainly understand the concerns that Bahamians have expressed. They have indicated that, again, traditionally, persons from Haiti have come to the Bahamas in the past to apply to go into the U.S., and they do not expect that there would be a substantial difference. That is their view, but we expect the Prime Minister, who is responsible to Bahamians, for him to speak to the issues and what exactly they're doing.
Meantime, another shanty town has been marked for demolition, this one in the Big Yard. The Ministry of Work says notices were laid on the homes of residents in an unregulated community in North Andros. Our Joshua Williams tells us in this report, a team of police officers and social workers traveled to the island to make their assessments.
The Unregulated Community Action Task Force is on the move once again, this time in North Andros. 28-day eviction notices were laid on several structures in an area known as Hasty Farms. Building Control Officer in the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs, Craig Delancey, says they've begun the process of getting rid of the illegal community.
We are in the process of issuing notices, pull-down notices to each of these structures that were constructed illegally. We hope to cover most of the area. From our reconnaissance, it's about 60 to 80 plus homes or buildings in this area.
Shanty towns have been a problem for decades. Successive governments have tried to address the issue. Poorly constructed homes, unsanitary conditions, and limited to no utilities are just some of the reasons they're being demolished across the country. This video shows a yard with a crab pen. Nearby is a small convenience shop. The task force recently had a 5-day mission in Andros, which was headed by the officer in charge, Superintendent Stephen Carey. Carey says while it was expected to be a routine assessment, they were in for a surprise.
There were at least approximately about 20 or so persons that ran from us. We were able to apprehend 3 of them. They had no status at all. They are presently being processed by immigration, and they will be, after process is completed, they will be flown back to Nassau for deportation.
This is not the first Family Island community slated for demo. 200 structures in Abaco and over 200 in Eleuthera were also flattened last year. Overall, the count stands at 6 total, with residents in 3 communities awaiting timidly as demolition dates have been set. Last month, the Department of Social Services setting the record straight that only those living there with Bahamian status, citizenship, or are permanent residents would receive assistance. Traveling with the team was Chief Social Worker of Family Island Disaster, Michelle Colley, who says they are committed to just that.
We ensured that the persons who live within those communities understood the purpose of the exercise, and we ensured them to secure alternative housing arrangements.
Back here in the capital, officials hope that the Montgomery Shantytown just behind me, along with the Fire Trail Road Shantytown, will be demolished sometime next week. Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks so much, Josh. South Eleuthera facing water supply issues over the weekend. The Water and Sewerage Corporation gave an update on the issue, saying frequent power surges last week resulted in motor failure at both the Tarpon Bay and Waterford plants. In a statement, WSC said those plant issues ended up causing a nearly 50% reduction in production at each plant. It added that at no time were customers supplied from the Tarpon Bay plant without water for consecutive days. But there was reduced water pressure and nightly cutbacks from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. to allow storage levels to rebuild. A replacement motor is expected to be installed in the Tarpon Bay plant today. Well, the act of breaking barriers for women in politics first starts with conversation. In this next report, our Danielle Miller speaks with a female parliamentarian who says the movement is not limited to elected officials and tells us her personal remedy in sustaining her mental health in the fight for equality.
The Commonwealth Parliamentary Association is currently hosting their 47th regional conference at the British Colonial Hotel. During the conference, they've intentionally put emphasis on women in politics. On Saturday, Minister for Labour and Public Service, Pia Glover-Roll, spoke to a room filled with female delegates holding an open conversation surrounding gender-based issues.
Whether we host it here in the Bahamas or we visit internationally in other regions, is to ensure that we are benchmarking, that we're understanding that though it's across borders, there are many similarities, that we're able to use the advice from those persons who have been there, done that, but that we're able to exchange notes and determine what is the easiest and best way forward.
This responsibility not only rests on women in elected positions. Roll shared that the term women in politics is inclusive of all women in decision-making positions that have national impact.
We have women who are chair of boards, we have women who are directors on many boards, we have women who are CEOs and positions in our public service like our permanent secretaries. So speaking in terms of women in leadership or women in political roles, it does not only mean elected officials.
During the conference, the topic of women's health became a point of discussion, highlighting concerns of both physical and mental health. In an article published by Talkspace earlier this year, studies show that 75% of women who are in leadership positions suffer from imposter syndrome, burnout, anxiety, and depression. Roll says she personally maintains her mental health by following this advice.
For me, I employ balance. My family said, you have to make sure it's a little balance. And they are all work and no play makes Jill a dull girl.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Thanks so much, Danielle. A 66-year-old woman jailed for 7 years for throwing acid in the face of her husband's mistress has appealed the sentence, saying it's too harsh. Pandora McKenzie received the maximum sentence following a conviction of causing dangerous harm in 2024. McKenzie reportedly lured her love rival to a meeting spot and threw acid on the unsuspecting woman, causing injuries to her eyes. The appellate court has reserved a decision on whether the sentence will be reduced due to McKenzie's previously clean criminal record. Well, a sad situation from Grand Bahama tonight. A preschool and church was broken into over the weekend, with thousands of dollars in valuables stolen. According to police, the incident happened between late Friday and early Saturday. School officials telling Our News that all of the classrooms were broken into, where cash, equipment, electronics, even snacks and drinks were stolen. Here's preschool owner Stacy Beckles.
My office door was opened. All of the papers was all over the floor. We had a few cash in our drawer. They took over about $100 and something that was removed. I had a speaker that was stolen as well. They drank drinks. They had a field day.
But the thieves didn't stop there. Right next door is Christ Commission Church. Senior Pastor Alvin Smith says members came to church Saturday morning for prayer meeting, only to find the sanctuary ransacked and thousands of dollars in equipment stolen. He says while it is disheartening, there's a lesson from the unfortunate event.
My encouragement as a pastor is not only that as we're in the season, that we ought to be mindful that there are people around us, because we don't know who it is, we don't know why they did it, but there are people around us who are perhaps in our community or hurting, desperate, and maybe they thought that this was a place that they can find some relief for the desperation that they have. And the church really is supposed to be that sanctuary. It was just not in the kind of way that these perpetrators would have thought it to be.
All right, very unfortunate situation. It's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg, off to a very wet start on a Monday.
Yeah, we had a nice potent thunderstorm over the capital. We have some video that we'll show you in just a second, but we did have a severe thunderstorm warning issue for the New Providence that has possibly or probably expired by now as the thunderstorms are pushed towards the north and east and has weakened. So temperatures right now a little on the cool side, 83 degrees outside our studios under mostly cloudy skies. The winds out of the northeast at 6 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 85. As I mentioned, we have that video. If we could show that there, that thunderstorm across the Harbor Bay area and the northeast portions of New Providence. This is a shot or video from a colleague of mine in that Harbor Bay. Really intense thunderstorm across that area of New Providence. Had some showers in the central portion, but very strong gusty winds out there, and there's some flooding, some street flooding. So if you're in that location, make sure you exercise some caution as you move around. Temperatures right now around the family of islands, we are looking rather cool across the northern islands. 85 degrees in Freeport, 82 in Alistown, Bimini, Great Harbor Key. Here in the capital, 83, 80 in Marshall, Barbacoa. Nichols San Andros, 84, 85 over in Governor's Harbor. 84, Kemps Bay, some thunderstorm activity there. Black Point, Exuma Chain, 85 there with some showers. Georgetown, 84. 83 in Deadman's Key. 85 Arthurstown, Cat Island, a pair of 84 in Coburn Downs and Salvador, Port Nelson. And into the southeast Palmers, 85 Duncantown, Ragged Island, Delectable Bay. 84s, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Abrams Bay, Megwan, 84. 86 in Providenciales, Turks and Caicos Islands, and Matthew Town in Agua Deep South. Your temperature right now is at 85. Still have that unsettled weather pattern across our area. We do have a couple of features in place. A frontal boundary that has stalled out across North Florida. That's trapping a lot of moisture across our area. And we have this upper level disturbance moving in from the east. That's going to continue to keep our atmosphere a little on the unstable side. So we're looking for some more showers tonight, even some isolated thunderstorms occurring across mostly the northwest Bahamas. Some of that could be in the central Bahamas tonight as well. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, have you ever wondered what's a better feeling? Throwing a touchdown pass in D1 football or serving an ace in a major? You gotta ask the Knowles family.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Charybdis to Caricom and Chogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our news is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say they...
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex.
Our News at 7 brings you that truth.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Marknott. Let's do show. One second-generation soon-to-be star gets his moment on the field and his moment in the spotlight. And Ronaldo's not here, but he thanks Graham Knowles because any real Kentucky basketball fan still hasn't forgiven Gardner-Webb for 2007. Statistically, if Knowles stays on this trajectory, he's on pace for a legendary career. Pass attempt, 1 pass completion, 1 touchdown. Knowles, a freshman quarterback for Georgia Tech, threw the first pass of his collegiate career in the fourth quarter of the Yellow Jackets' 59-12 win over Gardner-Webb on Saturday. His screen pass to Dean Patterson went 84 yards for the game's final score, and Georgia Tech improved to 2-0 on the season. A great offseason is one that gives us player movement and content to talk about. Track and field athletes can get busy in the transfer portal too. Sprinter Carlos Brown Jr. will be headed to New Mexico State Junior College. Brown's season was highlighted back in April at the Carifta Trials, where he turned in one of the fastest 100-meter times in the early outdoor season with a personal best 10.04 seconds. He also ran times of 10.12 seconds and 10.26 seconds this season. After a busy week, let's see what Jazz Chisholm Jr. is on the 30-30 tracker. The magic number is 5. Chisholm needs 3 more steals and 2 more home runs to clinch the vaunted 30-30 season. His 27th steal came last night in the Yankees' 4-3 win over the Toronto Blue Jays, moving him closer to that elite club. From a former Marlin to one working his way up the system in the organization, Ian Lewis has had a seamless transition to high A. Ian Lewis delivered in the clutch for the Beloit Skycarp, coming through with a walk-off sac fly to win a dramatic 3-2 win over the Predora Chiefs and help punch Beloit's ticket to the playoffs. That would do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as the French Prime Minister prepares to resign after a vote of no confidence in the National Assembly. Plus, 2 Powerball players successfully win nearly $2 billion in the second largest jackpot in U.S. history. And Turks and Caicos battling the region's highest murder rate. The premier recently writing to the British Foreign Secretary to express the gravity of the situation. We have the details when our news returns.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having Business in a Box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. France has been plunged into a new political crisis with the defeat of Prime Minister Francis Bayrou at a confidence vote in the National Assembly. The no-confidence defeat by 364 votes to 194 means that Bayrou will present his government's resignation to President Emmanuel Macron tomorrow. Bayrou's fall came after he staked his government on an emergency confidence debate centered on the question of French debt. The president must now decide how to replace him. Macron's office said this would happen in the coming days. France is now en route to getting its fifth prime minister in less than 2 years. U.S. President Donald Trump on Sunday suggested a Gaza deal could come soon to secure the release of all the hostages held by Hamas after earlier issuing what he called his last warning to the Palestinian militant group. Trump said he had been discussing the issue on the plane following a brief trip to New York. He declined to give further details but told reporters, quote, "You'll be hearing about it pretty soon. We're trying to get it ended. Get the hostages back," end quote. He added that the Israelis has accepted his terms and it is time for Hamas to accept as well. Hamas, in a statement, also reiterated its readiness for negotiations to release all hostages in exchange for a clear announcement of an end to the war and the complete withdrawal of Israeli forces from the enclave. Russia launched its largest air attack of the war on Ukraine Saturday, setting the main government building on fire in central Kyiv and killing at least 4 people, including an infant. President Volodymyr Zelensky said the drone and missile barrage caused damage across the north, south, and east of the country, impacting several cities. In Kyiv, residential apartments were hit and damaged, with dozens of residents wrapped in blankets gathering on the streets outside to survey the damage to their homes as rescue workers fought to extinguish the flames. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent adding that additional economic pressure by the United States and Europe could prompt Putin to enter peace talks with Ukraine. And 2 Powerball players in Missouri and Texas have won a combined jackpot of $1.8 billion, the second largest in U.S. history. The winning numbers drawn on late Saturday were white balls 11, 23, 44, 61, 62, and the red Powerball 17. Each winner can choose between an annuitized cash payment of $893.5 million or a lump sum of $410.3 million. Their identities have not been disclosed. Last year, Turks and Caicos recorded 48 homicides and for a population of less than 50,000, gave it the worst murder rate per capita in Latin America and the Caribbean. This year, the territory had already recorded 24 killings up to mid-August. The country recorded its first mass shooting in its history in July, which left 4 dead and 9 injured. Recently implemented anti-crime efforts include temporary curfews, tighter controls on establishments selling alcohol, and increased search powers for police. Premier Washington Mizik recently wrote to British Foreign Secretary Dave Lammy to express the gravity of the situation, reminding that the UK has ultimate responsibility for the territory's defense and internal security. A 2024 United Nations report spoken of intensification of organized crime and lethal violence across the Caribbean region. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was September 8th. And then in our news at 7:30, a Bahamas Air pilot now relieved of his duties following a viral dispute that made international headlines. Plus, are bonnets only meant to be worn in your home? One cafe's decision to bar the headwear sparking mixed reactions. Our Delvardo Emmanuel took to the streets to hear from you. That's coming up when our news returns.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say they...
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex.
Our News at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories, sports, and our view of the world. Join me, Kendino Knowles, weeknights for Our News at 7. Stay with the team you already trust.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. 9 seasons strong, and we're just getting started. This is On the Record.
On this day in Bahamian history in 2012, then Customs Comptroller Charles Turner revealed the department was losing some $100 million annually due to fraud. Then in 2019, while Hurricane Dorian continued to strengthen as a Category 3 storm, then Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis issued an evacuation order for 3,000 residents in the Abacos and parts of Grand Bahama. A year later in 2020, Dr. Minnis, who was still leading the height of the global COVID-19 pandemic, cautioned residents to remain vigilant as the country prepared for a phased reopening the next day. There were 2,135 cases at the time. For a full recap of events that shaped the day that was September 8th, be sure to visit ournews.bs. And of course, for all of today's top stories, you can find them on ournews.bs as well. That does it for Our News at 7. Joining us now is our Talia Hall with the latest headlines. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Not sure if I'm happy
about the weather. Hopefully it's clearing up soon.
Yes. Thanks so much, Megan. Well, coming up, the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence resumes activities. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News at 7:30, the Davis administration has slashed VAT on essential items by 50%. The Prime Minister says the move will bring real relief to struggling Bahamians. Tonight, the acting Prime Minister speaks as well as opposition. Also, Bahamas Air confirms the captain at the center of a recent cockpit dispute has been relieved of duty. Management says a leaked voice note violated company policy, plus disrespected and insulted. That's how the Bahamas Educators Managerial Union describes recent actions by education officials tonight. They're calling out underhanded tactics. And later,
no hair bonnets allowed. Well, that's the rule here at one local establishment. But what do residents think? Their reaction just ahead.
The story when Our News at 7:30 returns.
Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button if you'd like to see more content like this. Follow all of the Our News social media pages so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury,
Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now.
Go to doctors.
3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, in Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Somewhere's Plaza, got it going on, yeah. Somewhere's Plaza, one-stop shopping is here. In the family, community, who needs Southwest Plaza, come shop with us. Shop, shop, we've got so many stores. Shop, shop, prices are right. Come spend the day, bring the family. Southwest Plaza, come shop with us.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. Your life just took a dark turn. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. It's pure torture for your taste buds.
Much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. While the Davis administration reduced value-added tax on essential items, and according to Prime Minister Philip Davis, the reduction will bring relief to struggling Bahamians. The reduction in the VAT rate by 50% on items including baby and adult diapers, feminine hygiene products, medication, and medical and dental supplies took effect on September 1st. Acting Prime Minister Chester Cooper telling reporters this is just another step in government's push to ease the high cost of living.
We are improving our work in consumer protection. We are also improving our work as it relates to building trade alliances and encouraging shipping from other countries in addition to the traditional source markets. So we are confident that we are putting in steady work.
But F&M leader Michael Pintard believes the reduction is a page taken from the F&M's book.
For every one of the efforts they make that can bring relief, we applaud those efforts, and again, we're happy that they're taking the advice, but they have not gone far enough. We want them to say, essentially, that they will take VAT of all bread basket items. They will expand the group of products that will be included in the bread basket bundle. And they would ensure that whether it is baby products and female hygiene, a whole range of products we have identified, we want them to, again, be complete in the removal of VAT.
While the captain at the center of a dispute between 2 pilots that forced a flight to be grounded in Abaco has been relieved of his duties. That confirmation coming today from Bahamas Air Managing Director Tracy Cooper. Speaking at a press conference this afternoon, Cooper explained the incident unfolded on a scheduled flight on Sunday, August 31st from New Providence to Marsh Harbor with a continuation flight to West Palm Beach, Florida. He said the flight landed in Abaco without issue, but once on the ground, the first officer reported concerns over cockpit dynamics to the airline's Operations Control Center, recommending the flight not continue until the matter was reviewed. Cooper added, while a former debriefing was scheduled, a leaked voice message from the captain in question leaked, one he called inappropriate and in violation of the company's code of conduct.
The captain involved has since been relieved of his duties, and he is no longer employed with the airline. The safety, professionalism, and well-being of our passengers and crew remain paramount at Bahamas Air. We are proud of the integrity and high standards upheld by our flight teams, and we remain committed to maintaining the trust and confidence of the traveling public.
Cooper revealed this wasn't the first time the captain had been questioned about his management of the aircraft. Just a week earlier, he was formally advised by management to make certain adjustments. The captain had been with Bahamas Air for 12 years, and when asked if the incident could hurt the airline's image with travelers.
Bahamas Air has been known for some of the best pilots in the world. These guys know how to fly airplanes and they know how to conduct themselves. Every now and then you would have somebody who's an outlier. And because that person is not conforming, it doesn't mean that everybody is not conforming. And in this instance, again, we're reinforcing that that individual is actually brought in and spoken to because he was not the norm at Bahamas Air.
Disrespected and insulted. The Bahamas Educators Managerial Union accusing Ministry of Education officials of underhanded tactics over several promotional exercises in Family Island schools. In a statement, the ministry says they're working aggressively to finalize the promotion of administrators to fill vacant leadership posts at schools, especially on the Family Islands. But Union President Stephen McPhee is not only accusing the ministry of not consulting with them, but going behind their back, approaching union members, asking them to accept the promotions.
We find this very much out of order, and it can't be a goodwill on their behalf if while we're trying to work with them through this process, they're going behind our backs and practicing some of the same things that got us into this problem. You know, the union will not be disregarded. We're a legitimate trade union. We represent a group of workers, and no behind our back deals that they're trying to make either by coercing, intimidating, or interfering with our members' execution of duty.
The proposed promotions come after multiple schools have complained about a lack of administrators. Parents from the Samuel Guy Pinder All-Age School in Spanish Wells, Eleuthera, recently made a Facebook post saying the school was lacking leadership directly, which was affecting the learning of students. The ministry, however, shutting down that claim, insisting learning was not disrupted. But McPhee raises this question.
If school just been open 1 week, we just finished registration. There is no data to even support whether or not the opening of school, with the lack of teachers and administrators in those offices, have not had a positive or negative effect. There is no data. We have just been opened 1 week. There has been nothing other but a lot of schools, if they're saying it's not impacted negatively.
Well, Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard slamming former Tall Pines Member of Parliament Leslie Miller over recent comments he made about the FNM's Killarney candidate, Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis. Last week, Miller described her as a little young girl with the audacity to run against former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis. Barnett Ellis was swift to respond, calling his comments both misogynistic and disrespectful to Bahamian women. Miller has since apologized following the fierce backlash, saying he did not intend to be offensive. Here's what the FNM leader told reporters on the sidelines of the opening ceremony for the 47th Regional Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Conference this morning.
Quite frankly, he's often irresponsible in a number of comments that he makes, and this is yet another, another statement that is most irresponsible and is disrespectful to women in general. He has a daughter that's doing a commendable job in the Parliament of the Bahamas, and again, it's disrespectful to all women who serve or seek to serve.
Well, shifting gears now, a local cafe's Facebook post announcing it will not allow customers wearing hair bonnets inside its doors has sparked debate over what is and what isn't appropriate to wear in public. Our Delvado Emmanuel took to the streets where he got reaction.
I wear a turban sometimes. I have locks, so if you're telling me I can't enter your establishment wearing a bonnet, then you're basically telling me I can't enter your establishment wearing a turban. What happened to the ladies that wear hijab?
Café Chani Noel, a luxury Epicurean brand known for its specialty coffees, fine tea, and European-inspired pastries, is making headlines today for more than just its regal setup. The cafe over the weekend taking a bold stance banning women from wearing hair bonnets inside the establishment. The move sparking public debate.
I agree with them 100%. We should have a standard as ladies when we walk out of our house, and having a bonnet on to go to a high-class restaurant is an absolute no-no.
People, the younger women, maybe their parents, their mothers need to tell them, well, it's for home. It's for the house, for when you're about the house, and it's for, to keep your hair intact when you're in bed, not to go out in the road, the street with it.
In a Facebook post, the business made it clear that bonnets would no longer be welcomed inside, a move they say aligns with the establishment's standards of dress and dining experience. The cafe have since deleted that post, but not before it sent people into a frenzy. I reached out to one of the owners, Loretta Thomas, to find out what led to this bold stance, but she declined to comment.
Ladies should have a right to wear what they want, but also I think the establishments might want to set a standard, so that's probably why they said that.
I think it's ghetto, and they lack I don't know, just decency. You shouldn't want to be out the house with a bonnet on unless you're going to get your hair done.
I don't agree with persons wearing bonnets outside of homes. I do believe, again, it's a nighttime wear that persons wear at home. It should be worn at home. However, at the same token, that is her place of business. So how she finds fit to run it is completely on her.
Reporting for our news, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
All right, interesting story. Thanks for that, Delvardo. Well, rainy weather in the capital on this Monday. Hopefully things clear up soon. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is live in the Weather Center with your first look. Greg, rain, more. I'm not washing my car.
Not just the capital. We had quite a bit of activity across the northwest one. We had a thunderstorm here in the capital earlier this evening, and that really dumped some water in the northeast portions of the island. Got some video earlier, but it's clearing up right now. We took a peek outside. The thunderstorm has ended, the rain has ended, but the clouds are still there. 83 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Northeast winds at 6 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 85. Satellite radar composite. Frontal boundary stalled across North Florida. We also have an upper level disturbance just to the east of the Bahamas that's actually drifting towards the west. Both combining to keep our atmosphere a little on the unstable side, and we got a lot of tropical moisture in place. So showers and thunderstorms expected in the forecast tonight through tomorrow. It looks as though we may take this into Wednesday before things start to clear up. But those temperatures will be tempered. They should stay in the upper 80s to very near the 90s. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at the tropics and your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come in our news, prosecutors have withdrawn charges against a doctor and relatives of a pregnant teen in an alleged abortion case, but the man accused of impregnating the teen still faces trial. Plus, a $357 million battle between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority has gone to arbitration. The outcome could reshape Freeport's future. The story when our news continues. Stay with us.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. Your life just took a dark turn. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. It's pure torture for your taste buds, with 4 nightmarish dips of dread. Don't waste my time asking which ones you'll get. You must surrender to your fate. Enjoy the anguish.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's it's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is the great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect. You're going to marvel.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Caribta to Carriacou-Chogum, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief. connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come.
The Crown has decided to not prosecute the relatives of a pregnant teen who allegedly took her to have an abortion and the doctor accused of performing it. Prosecutors withdrew charges against Dr. Jamil Minnis, the son of former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, and the 15-year-old's mother and sister. Prosecutors had alleged that the teen's relatives conspired to commit the abortion between September 3rd and 4th, 2023, while Dr. Minnis was alleged to have performed the abortion at his clinic in Harbor Island on September 4th. Meanwhile, Alonzo Pinder, the man accused of impregnating the teen, still faces a charge of unlawful sexual intercourse. While the future of Freeport is reportedly now in the hands of an arbitration panel, this as 2 weeks of closed door hearings, allegedly kicked off today in Nassau to settle the government's $357 million dispute with the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Our news understands the sessions are being held privately with no media or public allowed inside. Sources claim today's discussions were mostly about setting ground rules. We're told a 3-member panel led by a former Chief Justice and 2 UK law lords will oversee the case, joined by top UK attorneys. Now, no ruling timeline has been announced, but sources say a decision could reportedly come as early as October. The outcome could reshape Freeport's future, from its governance and economy to the thousands of businesses licensed under the Port Authority. All sides are said to be under strict confidentiality orders. Now, the Davis administration has repeatedly claimed the Port Authority owes more than $300 million for public spending in recent years. The Port Authority has pushed back, saying it doesn't owe the government a dime, and has called the criticism unfair and misleading. Well, today officially marks the return of Junkanoo activities in New Providence, ending weeks-long suspension that left many groups and cultural supporters in limbo. The announcement came Sunday via a Facebook post from the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence, signaling the green light for practices and related activities to resume. Junkanoo events were halted on July 22nd following growing tensions over the proposed National Junkanoo Authority bill. Genesis Warhawk's Public Relations Director Angelique McKay says while her group welcomes the restart, questions remain about how the suspension unfolded.
We still have not been able to get a clear-cut answer with regards to that. But we are happy that the JCMP made a statement regarding the resumption of practices and Junkanoo-related activities, because the Junkanoo community at large is disheartened by that. Morale throughout the Junkanoo community is very low, and we've seen the backlash within the general community looking at Junkanoos kind of funny and, oh, y'all can't ever get anything right, where in actuality the Junkanoos themselves are suffering as a result of that decision that was made.
She says despite the criticism, Genesis continues to stand firmly behind the Junkanoo Authority bill, explaining that it provides the framework needed to strengthen and expand the cultural tradition. Still, she admits the halt in activities has had a serious impact on her group, particularly its teen mentorship program, which relies on practices as a form of fundraising.
We're now at a disadvantage because we've lost several weeks of opportunities to generate revenue to assist those teenagers who do not have jobs, to buy instruments to help them with their costuming. So we're at a disadvantage. And overall, August is usually a month where groups do not really practice. So Genesis apparently was the main group that was disenfranchised by this ruling or this suspension of Junkanoo activities. But we are a resilient group. This is our 10th year anniversary, and we are continuing to hawk up ourselves as we move towards Bay Street.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
Coming up in sports, a milestone moment for Graham Knowles in college football, a lot of familiar faces will be in new places next year in college athletics, an update on Jazz's 30-30 tracker, and some heroics from Ian Lewis in the minors.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having Business in a Box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to do the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. One second-generation soon-to-be star gets his moment on the field and his moment in the spotlight. And Ronaldo's not here, but he thanks Graham Knowles because any real Kentucky basketball fan still hasn't forgiven Gardner-Webb for 2007. Statistically, if Knowles stays on this trajectory, he's on pace for a legendary career. Pass attempt, 1 pass completion, 1 touchdown. Knowles, a freshman quarterback for Georgia Tech, threw the first pass of his collegiate career in the fourth quarter of the Yellow Jackets' 59-12 win over Gardner-Webb on Saturday. His screen pass to Dean Patterson went 84 yards for the game's final score, and Georgia Tech improved to 2-0 on the season. That was about the only good news as we update Bahamians from Division I football. Prince Strachan was ruled out of USC's 59-20 win over Georgia Southern with an ankle injury. In Week 1, he made his Trojans debut and had 1 catch for 25 yards in the win over Missouri State. A great offseason is one that gives us player movement and content to talk about. Track and field athletes can get busy in the transfer portal too. Sprinter Carlos Brown Jr. will be headed to New Mexico State Junior College. Brown's season was highlighted back in April at the Carifta Trials, where he turned in one of the fastest 100-meter times in the early outdoor season with a personal best 10.04 seconds. He also ran times at 10.12 seconds and 10.26 seconds this season. Sprinter hurdler Otto Lang has announced his transfer from San Jose State to the UCLA Bruins. Lang was runner-up in the 110-meter hurdles at the 2025 Mountain West Outdoor Championships with a personal best of 13.95 seconds in the 110-meter hurdles and 7.89 seconds in the 60-meter hurdles. Quarter miler LaCarthia Cooper will continue a career with the Texas A&M Aggies. Cooper, a former JUCO national champion and Olympic qualifier with the Thunderbirds, spent last season with the UNLV Running Rebels. She ran a personal best in the indoor 400 meters at 53.34 seconds. After a busy week, Let's see what Jazz Chisholm Jr. is on the 30-30 tracker. The magic number is 5. Chisholm needs 3 more steals and 2 more home runs to clinch the vaunted 30-30 season. His 27th steal came last night in the Yankees' 4-3 win over the Toronto Blue Jays, moving them closer to that elite club. The chase continues tomorrow night when the Yankees open a 3-game series against the Detroit Tigers. From a former Marlin to one working his way up the system in the organization, Ian Lewis has had a seamless transition to High A. Ian Lewis delivered in the clutch for the Beloit Skycarp, coming through with a walk-off sac fly to win a dramatic 3-2 win over the Predora Chiefs and help punch Beloit's ticket to the playoffs. The Skycarp season continues tomorrow night in the Midwest League Division playoffs against the Cedar Rapids. Since his promotion to High A, Lewis has been one of the team's most consistent sparks at the plate and on the bases. In 27 games with Beloit, he's batting .314 with 9 RBI and a remarkable 19 stolen bases. That would do it for our sports. Look, week 1 of the NFL season, not so good for Dolphin fans. Not a fan anymore, but I was a late addition to the ESPN Media Fantasy League, and my team is doing pretty well. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, we're starting the work week off with some off and on rain showers. Greg is back with your extended weather when our news returns. Stay with us.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having Business in a Box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
My name is Atreyu Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Atreyu Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of
This is our news. Welcome back. Remember that system that we were talking about in the Atlantic last week? We were anticipating some westward movement. Well, it was there. Now it's not there. One of those ghost storms. Most of the models basically fizzle that system out. We still have a couple of tropical waves across the tropical belt in the far tropical Atlantic, One just coming off of Africa, a rather strong one that we will continue to monitor. Of course, as I mentioned, we are now at the peak of the season. Another one approaching the Leeward Islands, disorganized and it's falling apart, while in the Western Caribbean all is quiet there. We have remnants of a frontal boundary hanging out in the Gulf of Mexico, as well as across Florida. That is trapping the moisture across our area. Northwest Bahamas seeing some showers and thunderstorms. We actually had a severe thunderstorm warning for New Providence earlier. And then we have this upper level disturbance that's drifting towards the west. That's also going to bring us some increased chances of showers and thunderstorms. So as this system continues to pull towards our area, keep your umbrellas handy. We're looking for some showers over the next couple of days before things start to clear out. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with that stationary frontal boundary across Florida, keeping or trapping that moisture across the northern portions of the Bahamas. That upper level system, some of the showers moving back towards the east, but that will continue to move towards the west, bringing us increasing showers through Wednesday, tapering off by Thursday's time frame. Boating forecast, northwest and central Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds will fall light and variable, but become southeasterly at 10 knots tomorrow. Seas 1 to 3 feet. High tide is at 9:05 tonight. The low tide takes place 3:21 in the morning. For the southeast Bahamas, things are going to be shaping up like this. East to southeasterly wind flow at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we'll keep some showers in the forecast for the next couple of days as that upper level disturbance to the east of us drifts slowly towards the west and that frontal boundary hangs around. We get an increase of some showers on the weekend, but things should be rather comfortable. Those temperatures will not get into the 90s, but we expect some very warm temperatures over the next couple of days. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much for that, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening. All right, Greg.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.